You know, I believe that every individual wants to shape their community. Everybody's got a voice. Everybody wants to be heard. They want to shape their neighborhood. They want to change their street. They want to make their city. What I know is that not everybody gets heard. This is our city. This is Dallas. It didn't happen overnight to look like this, right? We've shaped it. We've made hundreds and hundreds of decisions. You know, we built buildings, we tear them down, we build them back. We moved a river. We moved a river. We cut highways through neighborhoods. Talk about disruption. It used to look like this. Thousands of decisions. Think about how many decisions have been made, how many designs, how many buildings, how many blocks have been changed to make it what it was this morning when you had a cup of coffee, you enjoyed your home, you went out. I'm assuming everybody drove. Right? No, good. Good. But you know what? The experiences that you had today that were shaped by the physicality of the city was designed. Design matters. Now here's a system. It's about movement, but nobody's moving. The answer is not to make it bigger. It's to make it better. We've done a really good job in Dallas of making Dallas bigger. Now let's make it better. Let's make it better for people who live here, not for hypotheticals that are going to move here. So how do you do that? You talk to experts when you have a problem. And who are the experts? Well, there's planners. There's architects. I'm an architect. But you know, I don't necessarily want architects to make all the decisions, and I'm an architect. You guys are experts. You live in a city. So if you do something crazy like take a container and make a gallery and put questions on the side of it and say, what do you think about buildings? And what do you think about streets? And what do you think about public space and social capital? It's amazing what you can learn. That experiential knowledge, what it can do to then help to shape the technical, the creative, the ideation that can make a city. We call this public design. It's about designing communities. It's also about justice through engagement. Justice? Well, you know, we have a public defender, but we don't have a public architect, right? We don't have a public designer, but yet think about that experience today. Maybe it made you feel happy, maybe it didn't. I don't know if it was good or bad, but it was. And we have to be deliberate about this. So how do we do it? I've chosen to practice public design. I'm not the only guy in the country doing this. There's a lot of us that are springing up in lots of places. It's been going on for a while. But I think here, as we begin to work at the bcWORKSHOP and at the Dallas City Design Studio, when we get asked to work in a neighborhood, where do we go? Who do we talk to? If you want to know what the issues are, you go in the neighborhood. You do things like set up a little box, sort of a coffee box on the corner on a Saturday morning and catch people as they're moving around and ask them questions about what works and what doesn't, because they know. Now you have to couple that with technical expertise, but you know, you got to meet whenever, wherever. Front porches, living rooms, sheds, nighttime. The public works. The public works. Meeting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, come on. Modest neighborhood especially. And what are the tools that we use? Well, you know, the tools are those sort of age-old sort of drawing and making and crafting. But at a scale like this, it doesn't work. It's got to be close. We got to get close. And we got to have real conversations. And sometimes we got to play games. We got to make it fun because the technical stuff can really bog us down. And who doesn't like to play with blocks? So we can do crazy stuff like take some blocks and put some people around the table, pose problems and interact, and in a way come up with all kinds of knowledge that other disciplines have been pretty good about, especially when you think about sociology. But architecture, planning, we got to be held accountable, and we have to take a risk that as we learn, that we have to put it down, and we have to say, this is what we heard. And as we ideate, and as we move forward into bringing forward proposals to be held accountable, did we do what we were supposed to do? Did we solve a problem? Or are we just, well. So this is a place in Dallas, 1987, Dallas Life magazine photograph of Congo Street. It's in East Dallas. Now, it's south of I-30, but it's in East Dallas. You'd know that if you go there. And if you go there 20 years after that article, as I did in 2008, not a whole lot had changed. It was a forgotten street, but as an architect, I saw it from a technical standpoint as a street that was 19 feet wide. Oh my God, it's 19 feet wide, and it goes down to like 10. Nobody can build one of these anymore. Try to get that approved. Houses are 620 square feet average, and by the way, the average is 620 square feet because all the houses are 620 feet. That's simple math. They're old, they're tired, but actually it's a model for sustainability. It's a model for sustainability. And as you work as a designer and you weave the ecological aspects that we've heard today, the economic aspects that we know that are important, and the social aspects, the equity, that's the role of design. And so for us, sitting on a porch and talking, we learned that in this place, it was like an extended family. People relied on one another. Talk about throwback to another time, right? On a street. So if I've got to go to work, maybe someone else will watch after my child, or if I get sick, right? Who takes someone else to work? And so the one thing we couldn't do was disrupt that fabric with some crazy idea. And we came up with an idea that, was so darn simple. I tell you, sometimes it's hard to explain. It just did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to not displace anybody. So what was it? It was an empty lot. We said, let's build a house. You'll move into that house while we work on your house. And then you'll move back. And then you repeat it. What? That's too simple. But it solved the problem. And so working as a group, but then working individually. So as public designers, it is about choice. And it's about exercising choice in any landscape, in any economy. Building houses at $50,000 a piece, they still can be made well, and they can still be sustainable. And as they are sustainable, they can be recognized. And after 6 of them, and 4 design awards locally, and 1 national design award from the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and from the National American Institute of Architects, seals of approval from U.S. Green Building Council, it's sustainable, it's energy efficient, doesn't use a lot of water and all that stuff. The story of a street became solidified because there were policies that could have just wanted it to go away because it was forgotten. And so today, the story of that street is lifted. I'm talking about it here today, and I can tell you that when we started, that wasn't the intent. The intent was to have the public's interest in mind. And that's the role of a public designer. And so, like Miss Sarah and her sort of desire for her street, for her neighborhood, so that it can have a future, and what that might be, I've learned more. I think more from the residents of that street than I think I've shared. But the technical expertise that we were able to bring was important because it helped it to unfold. And there's a place for both. Now, we're not superheroes. We don't bend steel with our teeth. It's hard work, though, and it's diligent, and it's a calling in a lot of ways. And fortunately, here in Dallas, there are people coming to work here. These faces are from all over the country. They're young. They're out of school. They want to do things. They want to be relevant. They want to practice their craft of design. And so, remember that cup of coffee? You got up this morning? Well, to disturb your day tomorrow, when you wake up and you have that cup of coffee and you go outside, you're the local experts. You can join with us as technical experts, and we can design our city. Not only can we design our city, we can design the hell out of our city. Thank you.